que se ve al fondo es la Torre Willis,
Now Daniel Burnham, after creating the
que
World's
es el
Fair,
edificio más grande aquí de
created
Chicago.
the Daniel Burnham Plan of 1909, in which he envisioned a city with public access to the riverways, the lakeways, and everything you see here today. Now you might also notice as we're going down this river that it's also going the opposite way of the lake, which is kind of strange, isn't it? A little strange. Normally the water should be running towards the lake. So here's the thing about Chicago. We turned the river around. So imagine it's the late 1800s, early 1900s. People are dumping all their sewage in. Still very gross. Don't know how we didn't learn from the fire. People are dumping all their sewage in the water, all their trash in the water, and it's going straight into Lake Michigan, our main source of drinking water. So people were drinking sewage. Now, before I keep talking about this story, I want you to point out this building right here. Doesn't it look very similar to those corncob towers? This is also designed by Bertrand Goldberg, city within a building within a city. Those marinas down there are open year-round. They are bubblers, so they don't freeze over. Now, one man had an idea of how to save the city using a geological process I can't even describe to you. We ended up carving a canal going to the Mississippi River, connecting it to the Chicago River, sending all of our water down to Missouri, down to St. Louis. Now, I sometimes like to say I think the Cardinals deserve it, but I hope there's no St. Louis fans in here. Now, we're going to be coming up to it in just a second. You'll see as we turn this bend. You'll see that big glowing statue up there. That is the goddess Ceres on the Chicago Board of Trade building. Those Batman fans on here just recognize that is Wayne Enterprises in the Dark Knight movies. Now, the Chicago Board of Trade building is where people originally would go and exchange their crops. We're talking wheat, we're talking corn, we're talking barley, we're talking beans. So, this building was built with agricultural motifs in mind, including, of course, the goddess of agriculture, Ceres up top, and all the agricultural motifs into the stonework around the bottom, like wheat, corn, barley, all around. Now, Chicago is home to many a steel-frame skyscraper, but it's also home to the oldest steel-frame skyscraper in the United States. That is the Manhattan Building. Now, you can't see it quite, but I'm talking about it right now because it's right over there, right close to the Chicago Board of Trade building. Now, it's very old, but it does have a Taco Bell. I am still amazed at this. Now, we're coming up on it real soon, real quick. You're gonna notice that big building, it has that torch on top. It's not so bright up there right now. They do it for protection of birds. But this right here is 311 West Wacker. At the time when it was built in 1990, it was the tallest reinforced concrete skyscraper in the world. That torch up there is lit with over 1,800 luminous bulbs. And you might notice it's at a slant. That's because it was supposed to be one of 3 buildings. They were supposed to go a little triangle right there. But due to budget cuts and constraints with the land development, they were unable to make it. So they just made one. But it's still cool. Now we're going under what is one of the only gray buildings in the heart of the city. And that's why I don't like it as much. But of course I have to talk about it. It's the icon of the city. Coming in over 1,400 feet tall and 110 stories. It's 1974's Sears Tower!
1974.
Now,
Cuando se construyó la Sears Tower.
Interesting shape to it. It is a shape that might
Ahorita
be
le
familiar
cambiaron
to
el nombre, es
people
Willis
from the
Tower, pero
1970s. You take a cigarette
siempre ha
pack,
sido
you
la
hold it
Sears
tight in your
Tower.
hand, and you pull one out, and all of them come around as well. That is the idea behind the design of the Sears Tower right here. See, it has a tube bundle system, 3x3 tubes going all the way up. One layer, take one off. The other
Arriba
layer, take
hasta
one
la
off.
parte de
Third
arriba tiene un
layer,
mirador.
take one off. It's meant to adjust for sway, and Sears Tower can sway up to 9
piso de
feet
cristal
in any direction.
hacia el vacío.
So if you go visit that box, that viewing
Está
box
padre.
all the way up there, those glass viewing signs right there, you might be able to be up to 9 feet. Though typically it goes 3 feet in any
Ya,
direction.
tampoco.
Now, only 2 people have ever attempted to climb Sears Tower. 3, if you ask me, really nice right now. One of them being Dan Goodwin in 1981. He climbed it with suction cups and a dream. Dan Goodwin was an activist and a climber. He climbed all of the way up to the top.
Ya de aquí en adelante ya vamos de
Spider
regreso.
Man.